I knew you were gonna fuck that up. Everybody does. There's only one S. Where did you find the other one? So I'm gonna start this off with a disclaimer. I grew up religious, so we see the good things in people. So to me, gay is an action word. And what I mean by that is, if I don't see you in the act, it didn't happen. So, I have friends of all orientation. Don't ask me any questions. I try to stay in the dark as much as possible. That led me into some strange places. I'm not gonna lie to you. Recently, it led me into a place where I walked in on a conversation and they were talking. And they said, "Oh, you can join." I'm straight, so I'm the wrong person to join on those conversations. So they tried to explain to me before they got into the meat and potatoes of this thing. And they said, "Do you know what it is to be attracted to a gender, not a gender, but a person?" I said, "Of course, that's bisexual." They said, "No. Have you ever heard of pansexual?" I said, "I heard the word before." He said, "What did you think that was?" Obviously, cooking makes you horny. Now, my foundation for that was Gordon Ramsay. Because anybody that passionate has to have a boner underneath that apron. So, in my mind, I always pictured Gordon Ramsay had his children on the stove. And he named his wife's coochie Brulee. Because if anybody can cram brulee, it's Gordon Ramsay. They get into this conversation and they're telling the story. I have no idea what's going on. And they see it on my face. It's clear as day, because even when my mouth's not moving, my face is doing its own thing. So that's how we got into explaining these things, and eventually I got kicked out of that conversation, long story short. But for me, I'm this way because I was raised in the church. I was raised in the church so much that my cousins used to trick my grandma into listening to the devil's music. And for those of you who don't know what the devil's music is, it's anything that's not gospel. So she came and picked all of us up, and she had my cousins with me. And they were in there, and she said, "Play that song I like." And it was Akon. So we were riding to the middle of nowhere listening, "Nobody wanna see us together, but it don't matter, no." And then they'll start singing this one, "I got you, Jesus." Ooh, that stirred the spirit up. It's crazy growing up that way. You know, my dad was a pastor, but he was also hood, which led us to conflictions. He tried to raise us outside of the hood, but one day we ended up in the hood, and we lived there. Now, nobody gave us very many instructions, so I didn't know what was going on. I knew I was in the hood when I tapped the lady and said, "Hey, where's the cafeteria?" Because she was pregnant, I assumed she was an adult. She was younger than me. So I get in there, it's PE, I'm playing basketball, I'm good. I enunciate my words, obviously they know I don't belong there. And one guy talks about my mom. I didn't know we're supposed to fight after that. And everybody, "Ooh, you not gonna fight him?" I said, "I'm just putting my clothes on. I'm gonna get to him, I don't wanna be late to class." Now, I ain't never been in a fight before. He said, "We gonna throw hands?" I threw my hands up trying to pray. That's the day I found out it's hard to pray for your enemies when they beating your ass. So I tried a new technique, and I turned my other cheek. And if you ball your fist up and you turn your cheek as hard as possible, a miracle happens. Your enemies are on the ground. That was the first fight I won. I said, man, that's called the Jesus jab. That's my time. I've been promised to do it.